I want you to please welcome the insanity of Marty Schwimmer!
Thank you, thank you. How can you follow that? Before I start my act, I found this in the hallway before anybody came in, and I can't see who it's addressed to. So can the person who ordered the micropeniscure.com package please come up and claim it? Micropeniscure. Who was it? Oh, okay, I understand. I'm going to leave it here so that at the end of the show, when everybody is out, you can anonymously come up, claim it. No, anonymous. No fear, no anxiety. So that's how we'll leave it. A few years ago, do I need this?
Yeah.
Oh, clearly. It would help. It didn't work that way in practice, in rehearsal practice. I'm used to athletic events, not theater. Anyway, a few years ago I wrote a book called Spelling Spoofs, Grammar Goofs, and Other Oddities. And I thought it was funny. I was involved in a lot of projects, and I really didn't market it at all. So I said, you know, let me see how these folks here might react to some of the things here that were in the book. And what I'm going to be showing now is about medical facilities that we can use. And since this topic's been pretty prevalent in the nation's discussion over the last year, I thought it would be pertinent. Now, if your wife or husband made you a nice meal, and they asked you, honey, how was the meal? And you said, honey, it was adequate. How would she react? Well, how about on the same circumstance going to adequate medical and neurological services? I guess we might react the same way. Now, if your wife came home with an Easter dress and she said to you, honey, do you like my dress? And you would respond, yeah, it's decent. How do you think she would react to that? Not too well, I would think. How about going to decent dental and medical services? Okay, let's go to another tack. How about rolling the dice and going to Lucky Corner Medical Center? We can turn our medical care over to Lady Luck and it'll be fine. Now, another avenue would be going a little occult. How about somebody casting a spell over you to deal with any medical issue you have? And that is what happens at Magic Medical Complex. They put a spell on you and you are healed. And last but not least, I know of a knockout dentist, Dr. Chop. He does a bang-up job, I guarantee you. So, since I did this book, I was thinking about doing a sequel. And I said, you know, this is a G-rated book. It's nice, it's funny, it's ha-ha, but I want something with a little more spice. You know, a little more bite, like an R or an X. So I started looking on the web, you know, for inspiration. And I found this book that I didn't write, thank goodness, because whatever. And it is entitled, A is for Anus. Like that candy. I've heard some of your monologues before. I know that's right up your alley. No. Anyhow, so I started asking the question when I went into meditation. You know, how many people actually know what an anus is? And you know, some people said to me, well, I think there's an anus forest, I think there's an anus plains. And after my research, I found an actual anus flower, bless you, that grows in Southeast Asia. And the natives and the tourists who know about it flock to experience this anus flower. Why? I'll show you. Not with mine. The anus flower is shaped like an oval, as you can see. And when the sun rises in the morning, it expands. And it exudes this amazingly pungent aroma. That it's exotic. And aside from that, the natives know that if they lick the rim of the anus flower, they get this smooth, semi-salty taste that, along with the exotic, pungent aroma, just leaves you in the fifth dimension. So I suggest that if you haven't made plans in your bucket list to go experience the anus flower, you might want to do so. Now, since this is an alphabetic book, let's go to the letter B. Now, what I've chosen for the letter B is blowjob bib. I knew it. But that's why I'm not holding it. I'm not holding it here. I'm holding it here. Okay? I'm holding it here. So when I was younger and very sexually active, I had a couple of dozen in my apartment. And at one point I was seeing a young lady very seriously, and her name happened to be Oral. So, and I really appreciated her and our relationship. So I said, I have to do something to express my great appreciation of her and our relationship. So one night she was over, and I said, listen, Oral, you know, I really appreciate you, and I love our relationship. So you know what I want to do to show my appreciation? I am going to monogram your name on all of these bibs so that you will know that you are unique. And you know something? She was speechless. Now, let's go down to the letter C. And for the letter C, I chose condom. Fooled you, didn't I? Just wait. Anyhow, the letter C was condom. Why? Because when I was younger, again, it was, you know, a long time ago, I used all kinds of inexpensive condom and condom substitutes when I was having sex. Now, for example, they have this Ziploc bag. So the problem with the Ziploc bag, as you can see, when you get your finger in here, what happens? Ouch! Imagine if you put something else in there. Now, of course, we have the old, reliable Saran wrap. Now, this you can see is hit or miss. Balloons also, you know, when they bust, they're really not what they're made out to be. So I said to myself, look how things are happening in this world. Again, everybody wants organic food. They want clothes that are organic in nature. Why can't I have an organic condom? So, at that point I had some scientific knowledge, some knowledge of botany, some knowledge of genetics, and I did some experimentation. And lo and behold, I created the condom tree. It took a long time. This is a baby. In my hothouse, I have 8, 9 feet tall ones. This is just a baby. So finally, after many years, I developed my organic condom. Now, last but not least, let's go down the alphabet a while. Now let's go down to the letter P. So what word would I choose for the letter P? The penis. Now if you know You see on TV all the time, you see people talking about how men over 50 have to have a very excellent exercise program, physical health, so they can have a healthy sex life over the age of 50. I told you should sit in the front. And they need to be physically fit to have a good sex life. And then if they're not, you see things about ED and you have to take Viagra and Cialis and all this stuff. And I said, again, everybody likes organic. Why can't I find a way that men don't need this? A friend of mine is a physical trainer, so we worked together and we came up with an exercise program that will eliminate all this when we focus directly on penal health and not the jails. Just give you one example or so. You know, jumping jacks, right? We created the jumping jock forward, so you get the muscles of the penis going in the right direction. You're training the penis muscles to go in the right direction. And we came up, finally, we came up with my blowjob bit. We came up with the penal bar. Now, if you want to find out how to use this properly, you have to go to our website, bighotdog.com. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to... This needs some exercise. I'd like to end this set on a higher spiritual level. With the last two lyrics of the song that actually express my philosophy of life over the last 30 years or so. And it was made famous by Frank Sinatra. And so here it goes. Fairy tales can come true. It can happen to you. And you, and you, and you. If you're young at heart. Thank you.
Schwimmer!